or any inspiration you give to other people, and yeah, we can go from there. Cool. So first question I want to ask is, what made you want to study what you do at university? So biomed and medicine are, I'm not sure, people kind of see them as very similar kind of disciplines in a way. What made you want to study that? So, Jema, do you want to start today?
I think a variety of reasons. So my dad is a doctor himself, so I've always had just that influence in my life, and I always loved, like, it sounds pretty much like I'm doing my med school interview right now, but I always loved biology, and I was probably better at it than the other sciences. I always just wanted to do something where I felt like I was really valuable in society. I just felt like it was a natural way to go, and yeah, I think that's the main reason.
And Zonas?
Well, mine's not as good of a reason as Jama's, but I promise there's a good ending to the story. I applied for dentistry and I didn't get in, and biomed was like my fifth option. So I kind of just turned up to Birmingham without having a complete passion for biomed, but I did also love biology, and I was drawn to medical related subjects. So yeah, that's why I chose biomed as my fifth option.
Okay, and you say you applied to dentistry, Ben. So why did you apply to dentistry, Ben, in the first place?
So I enjoyed the practical aspect of dentistry. So I did a lot of work experience in the area, and at the time I enjoyed a lot of crafting and a lot of dexterous activities. So I enjoyed that aspect of dentistry, and it also tied in with my interest for biology as well.
Okay, I'm not sure how fast you're going to get this, but like, what makes you think your application to dentistry wasn't as successful as it ended up being?
I think it was my interviews which were probably the issue. I probably didn't excel in my interviews, and I may have been a bit more overconfident and didn't realize like the competition, because dentistry is a very competitive subject, and I feel at the time I didn't really give it my all at the interviews, and I think naturally, like throughout university, I have improved my my public speaking skills and my interview skills, but at the time of my interview back in A levels, I don't think I was as good as I could have been.
And so if you go back to that time then, what would you have done differently in preparation for interviews?
I think I would have done some more prepping for the interviews, although I did prep, but I think I only had one mock interview, and maybe do some more mock interviews, I guess. Yeah.
And Jema, you obviously got into medical school in the end, so it means you must have passed some interviews. What did you do in preparation for your interviews, and what do you think made you successful in that process?
So to prepare, I think I just ensured I had a good understanding of what the career was like, and not like a romanticized understanding, because I think that's something they grill us a lot in the interviews. You know, why do you want to do this? What qualities do you have that make you suitable for this? So just a lot of like introspection as well required. So I had like good answers for those kind of questions, and I think I just also got a lot of practice from like my dad helped me a lot, and in my sixth form they had people, a lot of people wanted to apply, like in any school wanted to apply to like medicine, dentistry, veterinary type subjects, and they did sometimes, if you ask them, they'd kind of arrange for you to have like a mock interview with like a senior member of staff, so you have that kind of level of pressure. And I think I had one of those. I think I just kind of read around a lot and saw what kind of questions they do ask, and like tasks they make you do, because usually it's like a range of, it's usually like multiple mini interviews and you have to do like various tasks. So I kind of see what they would ask in the past and then kind of practice those kind of things.
You mentioned that you prepped with your school and your father helped you as well. Was there any like external resources that you used in order to help your medical school application? And I guess you use Zana as well for your dentistry application. any like resources you use outside of school and like family connections?
I wouldn't say any external organization or family connections, but I think there's a website, I think it's called like Med Portal or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but I just looked online a lot. But in terms of external prepping, I didn't really do any of that.
Okay. And how about you, Thomas?
So I think I joined a UK CAT course after also doing some UK CAT revision myself, but I didn't really find it as helpful because I'd already like done the work. It was more like a UK CAT crash course. So UK CAT is the test that you take in order to get into dentistry or medical courses.
Okay, well, it's these days called UCAT. I'm not sure why they renamed it, but it's just UCAT, not UK CAT.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they've renamed it now. And so I'll speak to my brother about this as well. So like he's a medic himself, and he says like these courses they can be very hit and miss. And like if you do such a course, like what do you think? What did you actually gain for that course? Then like you say it's a crash course, but what do you actually do? Like is it stuff that someone can just do by themselves, as opposed to spending an extortionate fee for it?
I think they just offered some tips to excel in the UK CAT, but I think those tips could also be available online, and you don't need to sit in a room full of maybe 30 people to realise that, maybe. But I think most of it was unhelpful. We were just doing UK CAT questions like in a classroom, basically.
And Jamie, how did you prepare for UK CAT? Because I presume you must have taken it as well.
So I went to like a UK CAT lesson as well. And so yeah, I think that was the one external thing. In terms of interviews, I didn't have any external help, but for UK CAT I had that. And I think I just had a giant book. It was like 1,000 UK CAT questions or something that everyone has. And yeah, I just did that for a few weeks.
And so when you both applied for dentistry and medicine, which are kind of, let's say, stereotypical kind of career paths for people from some South Asian descent. Do you feel there's like any kind of pressure, like at all from family or anyone else, or was it like your own kind of passion that was driving you? Because obviously, Jamie, you said your father's a doctor himself, so and my father's a doctor as well, and so I had a lot of pressure myself when applying to university. You should do medicine. Like, did you feel there's any of that? Maybe even if you didn't do medicine, you think there was some kind of not a direct pressure, but like you could feel like some kind of like peer pressure to go down that route.
Yeah, definitely some pressure, but I wouldn't say it was a negative pressure. I think it was very much encouragement. And I was always told that I could do something else, but I think my parents, knowing what my personality was like and what my interests were like, they knew that this would be a good fit for me anyway, and because I was quite on board to do it as well. So it was never like a negative pressure where I felt, kind of coerced into this path. I was always interested myself. And I mostly just had encouragement rather than, this is what you have to do and anything else is a failure. And my dad would always be realistic, and even, he'd always say that you can do another subject, because I was always very interested in kind of English and politics subjects as well. And he was like, if you want to do that, you can. But I was just gravitated towards applying to med.
Yeah. And how about you, Zanas, when it came to applying to dentistry?
So my dad's also a doctor, and so is my entire dad's side of the family. So I did have a pressure as like the eldest daughter to kind of make my parents proud, and I feel like a part of me did apply for dentistry to make my parents proud. And I think even now, my parents would, if I turn around and told them that, I got into grad med or grad dentistry, they would actually be over the moon and they'd be so happy, but that's not the case. But they're still pretty proud of me now.
Just do a PhD and still become a doctor. To be going that way.
That's funny because my dad asked me, so I'm graduating in July, and my dad asked me what my title's going to be, and he was like, is it going to be a doctor? And I was like, no, that's later on. But he just got so happy about the title of like doctor, and yeah, so I guess maybe there's a pressure now for me to do a PhD as well.
When it came to going to university, then you both came to Birmingham, so welcome to the West Midlands. And Zanas, you came from Wales, and Jamie, you came from Wigan. And so what was the transition like going from your hometown to coming to the Midlands?
Very different, I would say. Very, very different. Wigan is predominantly white and a white area. Very working class as well. I was pretty much like the only brown kid in my school, but yeah, it was very I'd say like racially isolating. And then coming to Birmingham, where it's almost like everyone seems to be brown. So it was very different. I almost had like culture shock when I got there. Very much felt like a coconut. I'm really glad that I came to Birmingham because I think I needed that, people with similar background to me. So overall, it was a good experience, but at first it was also like very surprising. And also because Wigan is quite a rural area, I'd say. So to go from that to then living in a city is very exciting. There's a lot more things to do and places to see.
Yeah, basically the same as Joma. I came from North Wales, which doesn't really have a lot of brown people, and I think I probably had more brown people in my school than Joma, though. By the sounds of it, there were maybe 5 of us, and I was one of maybe 2 hijabis at the school, so I kind of grew up knowing I was different from my peers, and coming here was a positive experience because there were so many people like me, and I didn't have to adjust in a negative way at all. I completely felt at home like the first day I got here, which is probably a cliche thing to say, I guess, but yeah, that's the truth.
It may be cheesy, but if it's true, it's fine. I had a similar experience as well when I went to university as well, because I'm brought up in Wolverhampton, which is a very multicultural city. I went to a grammar school, which is in Shropshire, and it's predominantly very white there. And then go from that, I went to actually London for university, and there it's a lot more, not just Asian, but generally just more international. And it really, being exposed to more cultures in general helps you along the way, I feel, as opposed to just being predominantly surrounded by white people and feeling like an outsider. If everyone's different, you don't feel as much as an outsider, per se. You talk about the city then, but what's actually university like? Can you tell us what it's like to go to?
So it's great. I think it's unique in the sense that it is a huge campus university. So it's like a plot of land where all the buildings are. And it's also like just beautiful, like a really, really nice campus with a lot of facilities. And the means on are kind of tucked away in med school, which is at like one end of campus. And often we can kind of be isolated from the rest of campus. We don't know what's going on there because we never really have to leave med school. Well, Zan probably did have to for her year in computer science, but before that, we were just always in med school, which, is a pretty great building. It's huge and looks very I don't know, has like an ominous vibe to it because it's on the top of the hill and you can kind of see it everywhere in Selly Oak. You can see like med school and the QE, and it's just always kind of looking at you. So even if you're having a good time outside with your friends, you can just see med school, and it's just there reminding you like you probably should be studying right now.
So is the medical school right next to QE then? It's not in central Birmingham, rest of campus, or
no. So it's right next to the QE, and the campus is in Edgbaston, which is about 10 minutes away from city centre.
Okay.
I would describe it as like I because compared to other medical schools and like the location of medical schools, say in like Cardiff, I think you have to take a bus journey to get to the Cardiff Medical School, but the medical school is just across the road from like campus, if that makes sense. I personally class it as a part of campus.
Yeah, it's part of campus. Yeah.
Okay. And so obviously you guys study very different degrees when you actually get to university, but biomed, I presume, is very traditional in the way it's taught. Like it's very modular based. So you set a set of modules each year. Some have coursework, some have exams, and you get through that way. whereas medical school is a bit more fluid. It depends on which school you go to. So what's Birmingham Medical School like to study medicine at? Like, what's the course structure like?
Oh, so it's described as a traditional course. So preclinical is lecture-based. You just have a million lectures, and you have a few group-based like learning opportunities. And then from third year to fifth year, it's clinical. So you're in hospital every single day. And you can choose to do an intercalation as well in the middle of that. But yeah, in terms of what it's like, it is very, very structured. We also have modules. It's about 8 in each preclinical year. And then when it comes to clinical, it gets kind of insane. So I've just, well, basically almost finished fourth year now. And we had, I think it was 12 plus 6, 18 modules. So basically the entire body. But yeah, it's very intense at Birmingham. And I know all med schools are very intense, but I think because it's a traditional course, it's there's just something about it. It's just extra pressure on us basically. And even speaking to friends that go to other medical schools, I remember after first year I was speaking to a friend and I was like, it was just so much pressure, so much work. And he was saying, I wouldn't say that our course in first year was intense at all. And not to badmouth Birmingham, but there's always the pressure of failure. So very much you feel like you're going to get kicked out every single year. But in other med schools, I'm not sure if that's the case. I think they're pretty sure that they'll probably pass. It's just how well they'll do within the year. But at Birmingham, there is, I think most people do have that pressure, like, oh, I might actually be kicked off the course this year. So it's very intense.
Why do you think such pressure exists? Do you reckon it's because people actually have been kicked off? Or do you think it's just quite a competitive kind of scene where people think they are achieving in a way?
So people have been kicked off, and med school do tell us, they do tell us very much, okay, this is the process. If you don't pass, the second time, you're out of the course. Especially in first year, I think for our year in particular, they were it's almost like every single day they were telling us, if you have any problems, apply for ECs, because otherwise you fail your exam, you're out. There's very much this looming pressure that, you might actually be kicked out. And the way our exams are set out as well. So say in first year we had 4 modules in an exam. That's probably around, I'd say, 500 lectures worth of content. If you fail any one of those modules, you fail the entire exam. So you have to resit all of that, about 500 lectures worth of, or lectures and other materials worth of content. So it's very, very, it's a lot. One exam is worth a lot and very easy to kind of then fail.
Okay. And so having gone through the experience, Ben, you reckon Birmingham was a good choice for medical schools to go to? Or do you reckon you would be better off elsewhere?
I think it's good in terms of, we always hear that Birmingham graduates are very kind of competent. Our clinical years are very good. We get a lot of exposure. And because QE is right next to the medical school, there's a lot of opportunities for us to make connections and see things in our own time. So in terms of that, it's good. Location, so personally it was good, like location-wise. I was very lucky to go to uni with like my best friend, Zan. So it was like a personal great choice for me. In terms of the uni, sometimes I do find it frustrating, especially with COVID this year. There's been a lot of disagreements between students and the admin team and higher up people in the med school, and I think with a cohort as big as ours, it's around 400 a year. There's a lot of things that go unheard by the admin team, and there seems to be an air of frustration between both sides this year in particular. So that's been very frustrating. I've often just wondered, if it would be the same at other unis. But I think overall I'm quite happy with the choice.
Okay. Yeah, when it comes to COVID, I think every single uni has struggled. Having worked in a university this year, I can tell you a lot of students are just very unhappy and frustrated. And even staff are as well. A lot of staff just feel even the admin is letting them down as well, or just giving them too much work to do. And so, yeah, universities in general just haven't handled COVID very well. But yeah, hopefully, inshallah, things clear up and we go back to normality come September. Okay, and so one thing I want to talk about, because even though you both wanted biomed, wanted medicine, you both have different interests though within your own specialities. So Zanas, even though you did biomed at uni, you took a year out to do something else. So can you explain to the audience what exactly you did during your year out and how it links back to biomed?
So I was struggling for the first 2 years because I just got into a course that I wasn't 100% passionate about. I didn't know where my strengths lied. But going through first and second year, I started to develop an interest for genetics. And whilst I realized that, I also realized that that's hardly got anything to do with medicine and dentistry, which I thought I would end up applying for after graduation. So thinking about that, I tried to explore different other careers that I could possibly go into after graduation. And I'm the type of person who just throws myself into things, sometimes without thinking about it, as you can probably realize by the fact that I just pushed myself to go to Birmingham without a plan. So I kind of did some research on what I could do to improve like my career prospects. And I realized that Uni of Birmingham do a year in computer science program for anyone studying any course. So you just take a year of absence from your current course and then study computer science for a year. And I decided that I wanted to try that out. And yeah, so that's basically what I did. So I enrolled myself in the year in computer science course. And what I didn't realize is that it was going to be extremely intense and probably the most intense year that I've ever experienced, even though I just finished my 13,000 word dissertation. So yeah, I enrolled in that with master's students who were studying the conversion computer science masters. And then I kind of just learned the same thing as them, along with 20 other students who are also doing my year in computer science course.
Okay, and is this just part of your degree at Birmingham then? It's not like a separate degree you get?
No, so it's part of my degree at Birmingham. When I graduate, my degree title will be biomedical science with a year in computer science. My friend, who is also doing a year abroad, her degree title is liberal arts with computer science with a year abroad. So that's a very long title. But yeah,
they should do a year industry as well. So like a year abroad, a year industry, a year in computer science. Basically,
yeah, it doesn't really fit on her ID card. It doesn't fit on mine either.
Cool. Mm-hmm. And so during your year in comp sci, then what do you actually study? Like, do you learn how? Because people say computer science is quite a broad discipline. So what do you actually learn from computer science?
So we had one module which was called Introduction to Computer Science, which was equivalent to like an A-level in computer science. And then we had altogether 9 or 10 modules, which were first year, second year, and third year modules for computer science, which normal computer science students studied. And then also on the side, we learned Java, which is a really popular coding language for software developers. So the modules that we studied were artificial intelligence, machine learning was one of my optional modules. There's a lot of modules. I can't remember them all, but those were some of them. Those were probably my favorite modules.
Okay, and what out of those modules, what was your favorite one?
My favorite one was probably Intro to Computer Science because it was the easiest one. But I also really enjoyed. My favorite one was Introduction to Databases. That was my favorite one because I really enjoyed learning the language that you use to go through databases and
SQL.
I call it SQL, but is it called SQL?
People call it SQL, yeah.
Is it? Okay.
You can say SQL or SQL, both are fine. They're the same thing.
Well, technically we use Postgres SQL. My lecturer called it SQL. Just for the record.
You can call it whatever. It's the same thing. It's just your own preference how you pronounce it. If you say SQL or SQL, no one's going to care. No one's go, well, actually, it's called a SQL. But yeah, it's whatever you call it there.
SQL was fun.
Yes, SQL. Okay. But, do you learn anything else apart from Java and SQL then? Because Java, whilst it's important for software development, I imagine for biomed, you won't be using Java much at all. So what do you learn instead?
Well, that's not true, because I feel like you can develop software that is to do with health. So I do hope to use it at one point. Otherwise, all of that for nothing, But yeah, I feel like I could probably use it in the future. But yeah, mostly for biomed we use R, which I didn't even know about during the time of studying computer science. So my machine learning module was mostly Python based. Our lecturer would write code in Python and then expect us to understand it, which I didn't at the time, but I learned Python over the summer. So I feel like if I went back in time, I would probably know what he was on about.
Python is very popular to pick up, especially when you're learning how to code for the first time, because it's quite easy to pick up as well, because there's a lot more intuitive, as opposed to say Java. Java is a bit more tricky to get your head around. But yeah, Python is, and I personally prefer using R because R is a lot more cleaner, and there's a lot more stuff you can do in R. And I make packages in R, so that's personal preference. It comes in there. Okay.
Did you say you've made packages for R?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Nice.
They're proprietary though, so you can't use them. They're like company only kind of work.
Oh.
So yeah, I've made them so I can share them with people. But obviously, like, you can't get the actual package itself. I can tell you how to write a function I wrote for the package, but I can't tell you the whole package, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to know about it.
So yeah, cool.
And on that note, we can pause for a short break. And when we are back, we shall talk to Zana and Jima about the extracurricular activities they get up to outside of their studies. Tune in then.
This is Ramadan Radio.
Ready for a new career? Ready to be an engineer? Get ready, get set, get training. Become a qualified domestic gas or electrical engineer with the potential to earn up to 45k by enrolling onto one of our bespoke, accredited, industry-recognised training courses at our purpose-built training centre in Wolverhampton. For more information, visit our website gettraining.com or contact us on 01902 583 941.
Security Guards UK are a national security services provider specialising in manned guarding for over 20 years. If you, your friends or family around the UK have an SIA licence and would like a flexible, full-time or part-time security position, simply go online and fill out an application form at www.securityguardsuk.com and send your CV to jobs@securityguardsuk.com or call us on 0800 028 1513. Don't delay, apply today for a more secure future with Security Guards UK, the experts in security.
It's mega deal time right now at Salsa Grill. Any size pizza, buy one, get one free, with free medium fries. Any curries with 4 roti, just $6.99. Any single burger meal, just $3.50. Masala fish with fries or a naan, only $4.50. It's all here and much more at Salsa Grill, 27 Broad Street, Wolverhampton. Order on Wolverhampton 312-314 or online through Just Eat, Uber Eats or by searching Salsa Grill Wolverhampton. Little Dessert Shop continues to expand with stores in Bilston, Wolverhampton and Wensfield. During Ramadan, we're celebrating our show-stopping dunking box for only £25. Feed the family with this exquisitely presented iftari gift, featuring the best from our menu. Enter Ramadan 25 at the checkout on our incredible new website. Visit littledessertshop.co.uk today. The holy month of gifting. From all at Little Dessert Shop, we'd like to wish you a blessed Ramadan and a huge Eid Mubarak.
Do you have a family member that's passed away and you would like someone to assist you in legal advice? Kenneth Jones Solicitors has been providing legal services for businesses and individuals since 1986. We specialise in probate, Islamic wills and family law. We also offer services in conveyancing, immigration and personal injury. Contact us today on 01902 745 773 or visit us on our website at kenneth-jones.co.uk.
Mubi Bass Electronics, specialist in car audio and home entertainment. Suppliers of leading brands, Samsung, Sony, and Panasonic. We supply and fit all car audio systems, top brands, Kenwood, Bose, and we're an authorized supplier of Vibe product. Visit our store online at mubibass.co.uk and order today for next day delivery. Mubi Bass Electronics are proud sponsors of Wolverhampton Wanderers FC. Call us today for a free quote on 01902 754 546 and quote Ramadan 20 for 10% off. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Mubi Bass Electronics, specialist in car audio and home entertainment.
Is your home protected from the unexpected? It can be with Home Cover Plan, Wolverhampton's fastest growing home emergency cover from as little as $14.50 a month. That's right, for just $14.50 a month, Home Cover Plan will protect your boiler, radiators, electrics, plumbing and any other home emergencies with no catches, no call-out charges and no excess charges plus a boiler service. What's more, for Ramadan 2020, we're offering 15% off our policies with the code Ramadan15. Go to homecoverplan.co.uk now and join the many thousands already enjoying the benefits. Spice up your iftar with traditional spices and flavours from Indus. We go to great lengths to source only the best in Far Eastern flavours, with a wide range of spices, pulses, lentils and essentials for your kitchen cupboards. From our hot chili powder to our range of beans and pulses. Find our range in leading local supermarkets and retailers. Indus, the world's finest foods. Your tyres are essential for safe driving. They're the only link between your vehicle and the road. At Premier Tyres, we proudly stock leading tyre brands such as Goodyear, Michelin, Pirelli and more. We're also your go-to garage for MOTs, servicing, exhausts and all your mechanical needs. With the most affordable prices in town, unmatched quality, knowledgeable and fully qualified mechanics, we will look after your car no matter the make or model. Premier Tyres, Crown Street, WV1 1PX. Call 01902 455 684 or visit premiertyreservices.com.
Are you in receipt of benefits and looking for cavity wall or underfloor insulation? Did you know, with Northern Gas Heating, you could get a free boiler with the insulation measure of your choice? Call 0800 083 1000 or go to northerngasheating.com to see if you're eligible. It's a quick and easy assessment. Northern Gas Heating, celebrating over 20 years in the industry. We're proud to be the UK's local central heating company.
Pack Continental, your local best halal supermarket in Wolverhampton. Established for over 20 years, we pride ourselves on our fresh vegetables and fresh fruit. We have a variety of spices and lentils. We're also an award-winning Halal Butcher of the Year for 2 consecutive years. We supply excellent quality meat and poultry delivered fresh daily to our store. Visit us today at 1 to 3 Hunter Street, Wolverhampton, WV6 0QZ, or call 01902 717 792. Open 9am till 8pm Monday to Saturday and 10am till 6pm on Sundays. This is Ramadan Radio.
Welcome back after the break. Just before the break, we were speaking to Zana and Jema, both students at the University of Birmingham, and talking about their studies and what it was like studying at university. And now we're going to move on to more of the extracurricular stuff they've done outside of their studies. So starting with Jema. So even though you study medicine, you take more of an interest in public health. What about that aspect of the field draws you to it, as opposed to just the usual becoming a doctor after university?
So as opposed to public health as a specialty, I'm probably more interested in kind of the human rights element and health inequalities element of medicine. I was kind of introduced to it because we had a random one-off lecture about migrant healthcare, so refugees that come into the UK, and we had this incredible GP who took some time off to go and practice for free in refugee camps, and I just thought it was incredible and so necessary as well. And then we have certain societies in UOB that kind of do refugee related kind of initiatives and educational things, so I went to a few of those and I realized that that's something I very much want to do in my career. I don't know why, but for some reason, I think the refugee crisis just really frustrates me, and I just feel like I have to do something in that area, kind of use my skill set in there somehow. So the reason why I kind of do that more in my free time rather than as a route itself, because there isn't really a set route to do kind of humanitarian work. You kind of have to take the traditional route and then find your own way of getting involved. I guess you can do an intercalation in things like public health and global health, but I found that I had other avenues to kind of explore that through society work, through external organisations. So I much preferred that than having a set, a set course that would teach me about public health, which may not translate to public health in developing countries and things like that. So yeah, I think it's more a personal feat for me rather than academic, although I try and combine the two, or will try to further down the line when I have a bit more, when I have more options and more freedom, I think.
Okay, so even though you haven't gone down the route of doing the intercalated degree or doing that route, what in your spare time then have you got up to then that's helped you like kind of develop this passion of yours?
So a few things. First, I'd say there's two societies that I'm involved in. So one's called Students for Global Health, and the other one is called STAR, which is Student Action for Refugees. Both societies I'm currently president for, although I'm stepping down from Students for Global Health for next year. And through that, we have learned a lot ourselves because we do a lot of kind of educational resources about global health, especially when there's big humanitarian and health crises. We will do special series on it. So, for example, Yemen, and we also have like Instagram series about different kind of global health issues. Currently trying to form something to educate people about Palestine and the health implications there. So through Students for Global Health is very much a health aspect, because I think any humanitarian crisis, one of the predominant issues is, the health of the victims and individuals. And in terms of STAR, so for anyone that doesn't know what STAR is, it's basically a national charity with branches at most universities, and they aim to support the refugee community in that city. So at Birmingham STAR, we have English speaking lessons where volunteers will teach refugees, enough English to get them by. There's also walking tours so that we can familiarise them, refugees and asylum seekers, to the area so they know, say, where the hostel is, where the shops are, just where important places are. We also do a football club for like dads, men, boys, just, so they have a fun outlet. And we also have a women's initiative. I think we do kind of like exercises for women. And yeah, just something so they have, a life outside kind of being a refugee, kind of stuck in their accommodation or like scrambling to like form a life here, because it's very difficult with the laws in place in this country for refugees to kind of have a fulfilling life until their paperwork is sorted, which takes a very long time. They don't have the right to work here, which makes, life almost impossible. So we very much advocate for that as well. STAR in the past have successfully managed to secure a full scholarship at UOB for a refugee student. So that's all tuition fees paid, which I think is incredible. So yeah, I think doing that, which is more direct, is a very fulfilling way of going about, my interest in global health and health inequalities and humanitarian issues. So I just much prefer that to, doing the formal route of doing a degree in those things. And yeah.
Okay. And so you mentioned this organisation you're part of, STAR and, wait, what's it called?
Students for Global Health.
Okay, so you mentioned the organisations, Students for Global Health and STAR. And another one I'm also familiar with is also Doctors Without Borders. Have you considered joining them as well, or is their work not as appealing, you find?
Yeah, definitely. That's very appealing to me. At a student level, as far as I'm aware, I'm not fully informed, but as far as I'm aware, it's mostly fundraising type of things that you can do as a student. So I would probably be more interested, once I qualify, then I can directly get involved in that and use my skill set or whatever. But in terms of now, the fundraising element, although very important, I feel like, there's a lot of other responsibilities or like interests I have right now. So I haven't fully kind of engaged with that society, but definitely something I'm interested in.
So now moving back to Zana's again. So we've talked about Jema and what kind of organisations she's been involved with outside her studies. What have you been involved with, Zana's?
So for the past 3 years, I've been involved in a student group called Marrow. So Marrow is, like STAR, is available for people to join in most universities. So it's a national charity and it's a subsidiary of Anthony Nolan, which is a blood cancer charity. And our main focus is to sign people up to the stem cell donor register. And how we usually do that is to set up stalls in universities and approach people and tell them about the signing up process and what it entails. And I have been a part of Birmingham Marrow and National Marrow now for a year, and it's been really fulfilling, and I really enjoyed being a part of it.
Okay, and what made you want to join Marrow in the first place?
So my uncle had leukemia and he unfortunately passed away, and my family are very involved in helping people with cancer, and they're also involved in charity work, and I wanted to take my own initiative to do something myself in order to honour my uncle, and it stemmed from that, but also my love for Marrow as an organisation and charity, and the way that students can come together to make a difference. And I've seen the difference it's made to a lot of patients, which is really heartwarming to see. And I see it real time as well. And it's something that I've loved getting involved in university. And also the fact that it was one of the only charities or societies at the time when I found out about it that actually did things throughout the year and had campaigns throughout the year, and it was unique to me, and it wasn't just about fundraising, it was also about physically signing people up to the register, and I felt that I could put my extracurricular time in that and dedicate most of my time to Marrow because I felt it was worthwhile. So another reason why I am a part of Marrow, and I have been for 3 years now, is because I am passionate about signing more minority ethnic groups to the register, because at the moment there's only 20% of minority ethnic groups on the register, whereas there are around 80% of Caucasians on the register. So that means that white Caucasian patients are more likely to receive a stem cell transplant, which is a major health inequality for non-white people. So I feel like I am improving by signing up more people from minority ethnic backgrounds. I am improving the stem cell register, or helping to improve that, and that is a big part of Marrow at the moment. So that's what we campaign for in February, and most of the year, but mostly in February. So yeah.
Okay, and so you say you like what Marrow do, like as part of the committee there, what do you actually get up to in your time there? So what do you actually organise?
So as a committee, we'll organise donor recruitment events, which are events where we set up a stall and sign people up to the stem cell register. But to do that, we require volunteers. So committee positions will are split up into the committee positions are split up into like dedicating their role to training volunteers and also the donor recruitment process. So there'll be like donor recruitment coordinators, fundraisers, and volunteer trainers, so volunteer coordinators. I was social media rep. So my first role was social media rep. I was president the year after. So my first role was to advertise donor recruitment events and also speak on the radio as well about our events. So I've spoken on BBC Worcester and South Birmingham Radio. So we do all of that to get people to come to our events.
Okay, so does that make you a social media influencer?
No, but I like to think that I am.
Yeah, when events you want to push now to our audience who may be listening in, or are you unsure currently?
I can do a little pitch to sign people up to the stem cell donor register.
Go for it.
Yeah, so if you're between 16 to 35 and you haven't heard of Marrow or Anthony Nolan, well, Anthony Nolan is a blood cancer charity which signed people up to the stem cell donor register. And we need more people on the stem cell donor register because cancer patients require a specific match in order to get their stem cell transplant, which could potentially be life-saving. And we do that by taking a swab, which only takes 2 minutes, and signing a form. And then your swab is taken to the laboratory where they find out if you are a match for a cancer patient who needs a stem cell transplant. And from there, you will be contacted by Anthony Nolan to potentially donate your stem cells. And stem cells can be donated in one of two ways. So 90% of people will donate via their peripheral blood, which is not very invasive and feels like a normal blood transfusion. And the other 10% have an injection at the hip, which is under general anesthetic. And that's normally described as having a bad day at the gym. So by doing this, you'll potentially be saving someone's life. And you can sign up by heading to anthonynolan.org/Birmingham Marrow, which is the specific Birmingham Marrow group sign up link. So you can do all of that online and the slides will be posted to you. And yeah, I hope I summarized that okay. It's been a while since I've actually pitched like that to someone. Because of the pandemic, we haven't been able to do any online in-person events. So we've had to do everything online. So most of it has been typing. But yeah.
Sorry, Zara, just to bump in there. So you said it sounds like it feels like a blood transfusion. Did you mean to say that? I don't think it would feel like a blood transfusion.
Okay, I'll repeat that.
You mean blood donation?
Blood donation, that's what I meant. Yeah. No, yeah,
sorry, I had to be annoying there and just say that.
I'm sorry, yeah. So normally I would say the peripheral blood, 90% of people take out their peripheral blood. Wait, what am I saying? One sec. So 90% of people donate their stem cells via peripheral blood. And that's usually involves taking out your blood, collecting the stem cells and putting your blood back in. So that's what I usually say. But it's been a while.
Okay. So moving on now to kind of like future plans then. So Zana, as you leave university this year, Jema, you've got every year left. So what are your plans now in the coming future then, like after university? You want to go first?
So for me, I will be taking the traditional route. So straight out of uni, we start our foundation years, Foundation 1 and Foundation 2, which is like the bridge between medical school and kind of specialising. So that's the plan so far. Medicine's very structured. This kind of almost like the next step. So yeah, you do foundation years, and after that, you can choose to specialise. You can do a third foundation year. But yeah, I think for now my plan is just to start practicing.
And you, Zanas?
So my plan is to do a master's in bioinformatics, hopefully either in Birmingham or Leeds. And with that, hopefully I can progress into a PhD. And I'm hoping to gain enough experience to land a job as a bioinformatician.
Cool. And so if both of you had to go back in time and speak to 18-year-old self, what advice would you give yourself back then? So just as you're leaving school, like, what would you tell yourself?
I'll go first. So I would tell myself that any rejection or any failed attempt is most possibly a redirection, which I've learned from LinkedIn. And I wish I knew that. I wish I knew that before, and not to get so disheartened when something I want to achieve doesn't happen.
And yourself, Jema?
I think for me, I would say just have a more balanced approach to uni. Don't focus on one thing. And yeah, just try and enjoy it. Just enjoy it at the time. Don't think about the past or the future. Like, just try and embrace what's going on right now. Because yeah, it's quite fleeting, and before you know it, it's over, and then you'll just be looking back on it like, oh, I wish I realized that was. I think The Office has like a really good quote where it's like, I wish I knew when I was in the good times at the time, or something like that. And yeah, I would very much remind myself like, this is a fun and quite free time in life to just enjoy what's going on. So yeah, remember that.
Okay. And so looking then forward again, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
I hopefully want to be into a PhD, hopefully studying either glaucoma, which I'm really interested in, or any genetic aspect of endocrinology, which is also another interest of mine, to help people with genetic diseases in general.
And Jema, yourself?
For me, I hope that I'm in a specialty training course that I'm interested in. Right now, I'm quite interested in radiology. But whatever I choose, I hope I'm happy with that. And I just hope I have a good balance in my life of both work and personal life.
Cool. And just to wrap things up, we've talked about a fair few things today. So what's the one takeaway you want the audience to take away from our conversation today? Either of you can go first.
I would say that you can, no matter what you go into, you can kind of direct your career path and just personal life path to whatever you want. Really, you can link things in ways that you didn't even think was, possible. And yeah, there's just no limitation to what you can really do at university. There's just so much opportunity. So anything that you're interested in is very easy to just dive right in. And I would encourage doing that.
Yeah, to go off what James said, definitely dive right in and try new things, because you never know what the unknown could bring. And I feel like that's a really important take when it comes to students thinking about starting university, or students already in university. Most experiences and most of your best experiences will come from trying things that are new and you haven't thought about before.
Okay, so nice place to end things off there. Thank you both for coming on our show today. And hopefully, audience, we hope you got some good insights from that, and hope we see you guys next week.
This is Ramadan Radio. Feeling peckish? Treat your taste buds with a range of delicious snacks and flavours of the Far East from Indus. Why not try our range of roasted nuts, dried fruit, Bombay mix and flavoured snacks? Indus by AIB Foods. Available in your local supermarkets and varied retailers. Indus, the world's finest foods. Do you receive benefits? If you do, you could qualify for free or part-funded energy-efficient A-rated boilers from Northern Gas Heating. Call 0800 083 1000 or go to northerngasheating.com to see if you're eligible. It's a quick and easy assessment. Northern Gas Heating, celebrating 20 years in the industry with over 100,000 happy customers and 80-plus staff. We're the UK's local central heating company.
Northern Gas Heating would like to wish you all a blessed Ramadan and a happy Eid. Mina Bazaar, one of the UK's biggest collections of Asian bridal wear and fashion. Established for over 25 years, we're now showcasing and taking orders for our brand new catalogue. We have Mina Bazaar's men's bridal wear. We'll be stocking the very best in groom sherwani, fashion kurta and waistcoats. Book an appointment today and get 15% off during Ramadan at Mina Bazaar, 184 Ladypool Road, Birmingham, B12 8JS by calling us on 07970 265 956. For any type of recruitment, there's only one company to call, Right Recruitment. Looking to recruit warehouse staff, senior management, or even directors? Right Recruitment is all you need. Call Right Recruitment now on 0121 454 6561. Right rates, right candidates, do it the right way. Call Right Recruitment now on 0121 454 6561. That's 0121 454 6561. Learning to drive? Learn with Ladyship. Wolverhampton and the surrounding area's female driving instructor. Ladyship offers driving lessons in a patient and friendly environment, with lessons available in Punjabi, Urdu and Mirpuri, and nervous pupils are especially welcome. She's Pass Plus registered and can also provide refresher lessons and motorway driving lessons, with discounts available for block bookings. Call 07964 679 742 or search online for Ladyship Driving School.
Fatima Bakes, your trusted local baker, providing high-quality treats at unbeatable prices. From cupcakes, brownies, cakesicles, cakes to customized desserts and treat boxes. Order for your loved ones now. Our bakes are lovingly crafted to put a smile on your face. Order today. Follow us on Instagram at fatima.bakes or give us a call on 07547 360 760. Discount to our Ramadan radio customers.
Are you replacing windows in your home? Here at AK Windows, with over 30 years experience manufacturing and installation, we can provide you with premium and affordable UPVC, aluminium windows and doors, roof lanterns, composite and bifolding doors. We offer a free quotation on all work with our selected range of windows in grey, white and much more. We can also repair window and door locks with glass repairs too. We also supply to the trade. Call today for a free quote on 01902 421 500. AK Windows.
The Prophet, peace be upon him, said that when a person passes away after taking their last breath, the good deeds they can do also come to an end, except for 3, one of which is Sadaqah Jariyah, the opportunity to invest in a Sadaqah Jariyah project that will help you accumulate daily rewards even after you pass away is available here in Wolverhampton. Simply donate to the House of Allah, Jamia Masjid Aqsa, for the car park project. Don't miss this amazing opportunity in this blessed month. Donate today by bank transfer, PayPal or even cash. Details can be found on the Masjid website, jamiamasjid.com. Don't delay, invest in your akhirah today. The death of a loved one is a very emotional and challenging time for the family members of the deceased. Al Mu'min Funeral Services have been supporting families across the UK since 2005. Their professional, experienced and quality service ensures the whole process from release from hospital to burial is taken care of respectfully and efficiently. They also specialise in worldwide repatriations, assisting to take loved ones to Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Iraq or anywhere worldwide. almu'minfunerals.co.uk, your trusted funeral service.
Eurofit Auto Centres, the West Midlands leading independent auto centre, celebrating 18 years of service. This Ramadan, we're offering 20% off all services, MOT and repairs, with a free collection and drop-off service within Wolverhampton. Book online today at eurofitautocentres.co.uk or call us on 01902 40 40 45 and we'll direct you to your nearest branch. The experts making vehicle repairs simple.
This is Ramadan Radio, your local voice, your local Muslim radio. This is Ramadan Radio.